Hello, everybody. Good evening. I think some names was just with me on the previous webinar that ended about 10 minutes ago, but here we go again. So, hello, Tracy. Hello again. So, guys, as always, for those of you joining for the first time, welcome. What I do is I will always keep the chat function open so I can keep track of conversation there, and then Q&A. If you have any questions, hi, good evening again. If you have any questions on Lightroom or the stuff that we're going to work through, then just pop them in there. As reminding, hey Francho, as a reminder, all of these webinars, you don't have to write anything down. This is screen recorded and it will be posted to the Wild Eye YouTube channel tomorrow, along with all of the other webinars we've been doing over the last 3 or 4 months. Right, hi from Colorado. Hey Colorado. I love that. Okay, so in the chat function for me, let me just lead this in quickly. Hi from Miami. Hey, Maura. This morning I was doing a one-on-one private with someone from, where was she from? Wyoming. Joni, she's a regular client of mine. And we were going to look at a whole bunch of different editing techniques and Nick filters and everything. But she sent me a WhatsApp before we started. And she said, no, something's not right. This is not working, the whole thing. So Ruben, hey. So we started looking and she still had version 6. Hey, Natalie, version 6 of Lightroom. This is the one before the Creative Cloud, right? So very important question for you guys listening right now. How many of you have updated to the very latest version of Lightroom? Please go in the chat function. Just give me a yes. Sally, hey again. Okay, newest version, that's cool. Okay, if this is good. This is good. Carol, hey again. So the important thing here is that you have to be on the Creative Cloud to get these updates regularly. Yes, it's $9 a month if you're not doing all the other ones, but it is so worth it. So what I'm going to do, and this is going to be pretty straightforward, guys. Some of this, for those of you that joined my advanced editing about a week or so ago, the premium one, we did touch on some of this, but I'm just going to look at some of the other adjustments and changes that they've made to Lightroom. Some of them, they talk about the speed is improved and this and that, but there's 2 or 3 of these functions that for us really, really is golden. So I'm going to first quickly share my screen with you and take you to the Adobe website if you haven't seen this yet. And again, if you guys want this, please let me know. I can just mail this to you. These are some of the features that they're bragging about in this latest update. So performance improvements, always. Every time they come up with an update, there's performance improvement, and rightfully so. I mean, it's necessary. User interface improvements. I'm going to look at this, the sync, the tone curve, and the color. The tone curve in particular, quite nice changes. Local hue adjustments, we are going to spend some time with. In the special adjustment brush, graduated filter, radial filter, definitely something to look at, especially for the landscape people out there. Really cool stuff. For those of you that do create presets, I'm not a huge fan, but they have got its uses. You can now add ISO adaptive presets. So you can create a preset for your work, right? And then you give it and say, if it's 1600, do this, and so on and so forth. So it's almost like artificial intelligence in a way, just to kind of work around your ISO issues. They've added a new 2x2 grid to the crop, which is not a major, but if you want to kind of see if there's balance to your frame, it can help. They've added some new presets, default ones into the program. As with every other release, there's always the support for new cameras and lenses, and then some other enhancements or small things that more than likely you wouldn't even know about. So looking at that, we're going to dive in. I'm going to just start with the tone curve and the color. Most of it's UI anyway, but then we can go deeper from there, and they will spend some time with that hue adjustment. That's for me the biggest thing that they've done this time around. So again, I will keep the chat open all the time to keep track with you guys. If you have any other questions, please drop them in the Q&A, and then towards the end, we'll pop back over there. Right, here we go. Into Lightroom. So you should all now be seeing my Lightroom. Please just confirm for me. I always do this just to know that you guys are with me and not losing you. There we go. Thank you so very much. Okay. So first things first, if you're ever unsure of what version of Lightroom you have, worth going up to the top, click on Lightroom Classic, About. Here you should have that. This is the latest version, right? 9.3, and then camera raw goes with it. All right. So let's just pick any image to play with over here. Let's go to Svalbard, and I'll do D. Okay, we can talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so one of the main ones here is if you come down to color over here, right? All they've done here is they've changed the UI on this. So it looks a bit sexier, right? And it's all the colors, and it's basically like it was, but they just made a bit more, let's leave it sexy, right? Tone curve. Now, how many of you currently use the tone curve as a part of your processing? Just give me a yes or no inside of the chat, just to see. Scares me. Gotcha, Sadie. Sometimes. No, seldom. No, really. Okay. So for those of you that did my advanced editing a week ago, some of this might be repetitive, but it's worth a look. Okay, so not many people by the look of it. All right, so what you have here, you would still start most of your processing at the basic level. Do all of this like you should, yeah? Then you come down and the tone curve is over here. So what you have over here is you've got the point curve where you can select single points on there, or you got the parametric one, right? So this is the point level one where you can put as many points across, and you've got parametric. They've just neatened this up slightly. Now, important to notice, if you are looking to work in the parametric mode, each of these 4 sliders, you can see the little bubble over here that gets highlighted when I put my cursor over each slider, is where the adjustment will take place. All right, now they've tightened this up, and the controls over this is really, really nice. I would suggest, however, that if you are going to use the tone curve, always start with the point curve. Come on here, and you'll see now that the sliders are gone. This means that you can put as many points on this line as you wish. This is pure black, that's pure white. So let's just say I put one there, just to show you. I can put a whole bunch, right? And I can move these up and down to affect different areas of the image based on that tonal value. I'm going to overdo something here, just do that, right? It's not what I want to show you. If you now go to parametric, your starting point is this curve that you've created. It's important. Start with a point curve, set up your image as close as you can, right, with this, right? And then go to parametric, because then it keeps those adjustments, and then you can fine tune. The easiest way to describe this for you is the point curve. You can go from 0 to 100, and you can, every point can control 1%. So it's a much finer detail. Whereas if you go parametric, each of these sliders basically moves 25% of that curve. All right, everybody happy with that? Super simple. Start with the point curve, put the points on the tonal values that you want to change. Yeah, see, it only affects that certain range, and then use parametric to smooth it out. Okay, everybody happy with that, please? Just to confirm. Super simple. For those of you that have not seen the advanced editing one and you want to get a copy of that, please mail me. We go deeper than this. Okay, I've got a tick there. Okay, can't see me. I should be in the top corner, but we'll come back to me now. We'll come back to me now. Okay, the other 3, just for you in the tone curve, right, is if I go to the red, green, and blue, what this works on is complementary colors. So this would take a blue and shift it towards the opposite color, which in this case is yellow. But what's important here is if I do it down here, it's going to affect the dark blues. If I go up here, it'll affect the light blues. And you can then shift those towards and away from the opposite color. Does that make sense? Watch this. If I make my darks more blue, but my lights more yellow, I start getting a split tone. So you can do split toning in the tone curve. You pick the darkness level by deciding left to right, and then you shift that up and down to either move towards or away from one of your primary colors here. Green will go towards magenta, and then red goes to kind of cayenne. Okay, this you probably won't use all that much, but if you are going to get creative or you just want to punch the blues in the sky a little bit, then that can be quite handy. Okay, tone curve, check. Right, Any questions so far? Pretty simple going, yeah? It's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. Nothing much to be worried about over there. Okay, I'm just seeing some of the comments, guys. Yes, I said if you want to get hold of any of the other premium webinars in the past, get a hold of me. We are going to make those available for sale as well. Those are the 2-hour versions where we go really deep. Okay, now, the next one I'm going to spend a little bit of time with is on the new Hue Adjustment. Now, what that does is it's a selected area adjustment. This is not global, but I'll show you how to trick it and make it global. So the idea with saturation is saturation has 3 variables, or color has 3 variables: saturation, luminance, and hue. Do you know those differences, please? And this is vital if you're going to work in color. Saturation, luminance, and hue. Vital. Color has those 3 variables. And when you work those color channels, right, then that's when you start getting it. Okay, got it, done. So the hue moves and shifts tones within a particular area. Here we go. I'm taking you back to Lightroom. Over there, sure, that is shocking. Let me just undo that. We don't need that. Okay, my chat function is coming back just so that I can keep track with you guys again. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I see people. Yeah. My Apple Watch is charging, so I just put one of my G-Shocks on. It's a favorite. Haven't worn it for a while. Okay, so this new adjustment, this hue adjustment, sits inside of these 3 special adjustment tools. So let me just start on the graduated filter. Now we can try that. So there's all your adjustment. Here it is, this new thing in the middle here, the hue adjustment. So use fine adjustment simply means that it slows down you being able to move the slider around. So in the same way that a graduated filter only affects a certain part of the image, this shift in hue or tone of color will only be affected to the area that I asked the image to do. So let's start on the brush because this one's going to be more easy. I'm going to, for example, now let's paint this area in the middle. I'm going to use an overlay to just show. Remember, just as a reminder, it is not painting red. It is just a mask to show me where the adjustments will happen. If I remove that mask and I do, for example, saturation up and down, just to show you, it only happens in that area. Okay, so now if I start playing with this hue adjustment over here, you can see there's 2 lines on top of each other. The top one stays still, the bottom one will move. So I now move this one and it'll only affect this area with the change of that color. Now, how you apply this and what you decide to use this for is up to you, right? So if I move it back down, I can maybe get more like a greeny kind of ocean color in there. But that is how this thing works. It's pretty simple, right? And I will show you there are times when you can use this. For landscape guys, think skies. If you're doing portraits or more commercial shoots, to change the tones in a certain area is something that a lot of people have been asking for in Lightroom. So if I don't want to go as fast, I click use fine adjustment. And then even if I move the slider quickly, it doesn't go quickly. Okay, so it moves much slower and it gives me a more even and not as dramatic change. So what works very well was the range mask. Now in that one, the advanced one that I did, the range mask is a beautiful way to combine with this, right? Combine with this. I was actually just laughing at myself. So what I would do is in this instance, right? When I painted this, that adjustment only applies to this area that I painted. Okay, so the hack, and this is interesting when you get to the range mask as well. If you want to use any of these special adjustments, especially the hue and the range mask on your entire image, go to the graduated filter, come right to the bottom of the frame, hold shift and drag it down and then move it pretty much out of frame. Because if you look at the mask now, it's the whole image. Now it's the whole image. So now I've got access to the range mask and to this hue adjustment shift within the graduated filter. Okay, so if I look at that there it is. I can turn the mask off, and now I can use this adjustment, and that color shift will happen throughout. If I grab the thing, right? The color shift will now happen throughout the entire image. See, so now the shift happens all over. So when you get to prints or kind of fine art, or you want to introduce an orange into the sunset or whatever the case might be, this is very handy for selected areas. Now, I will show you an image where we could apply that a little bit more, okay? But that is a really, really cool way to do it. All right, let us go back out of that and go to another image, just to show you how we can use that more specifically. Something like, just quickly looking for that one. Where is it? Okay, let's go with something like this with a lot of color. Okay. All right, sorry, I'm just checking pictures here. Just complete, you can make 3 main aspects of the picture, the eye catcher. How do you choose what you choose the main point? Okay, just go ask that in the Q&A for me and I'll get back to you on that one. Okay, good question. So on this, if for example, you have an image like this, where you've got very bright colors around and you want to do something specific by throwing the colors around and changing the hue, the color, right? This used to be a domain only for Photoshop, but now we can come with a brush, and let me just put my mask on, and I can just very briefly, because we're not going to go into detailed editing here, paint this, right? It's very bad painting. And now I can shift this jacket to different colors. So it's a big deal for Lightroom to have this, because like I said, that used to be something you could only do in Photoshop, is to replace color. And it was quite a mission. It was quite a mission. So combined with the range mask, and guys, if you missed the webinar last week, go and look at the range mask. It's amazing. Really, really, I've been quite heavy on this, and the detail you can get out of it is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, quickly back with you guys here. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far on those ones? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I would recommend you play with the hue slider a bit, because initially it does seem a little bit like, what for wildlife? But guys, when you look at skies, especially some mornings in the bush, you get, and there's like an orange that goes into purple, right? That becomes very interesting to shift that purple just a little bit deeper. Just use that artistic freedom just to squeeze a little bit more like awesomeness out of the image. Okay, I see the questions. I will get back to those in a second. Stay tuned. For now, let's go back in here. All right. And we are quickly just going to go and look at, this is not a major update for me inside the crop, right? So as you guys know, you can click over here to open the crop, and then your overlays, this grid, the rule of thirds you see now, right? You can change that by, while you're in crop, hitting O on your keyboard. And it has all of these different options, right? Now, all that they've done here is they've added this one in, which is basically a cross. So you know where the dead center of your image is. This is something that a lot of people ask for, is where is the dead center of my frame? So there you can use the crop function for that now. And the other overlay, I think the other one, new one was, no, it was that. That was the one. Yeah. So it just gives you, and people wanted to have the center point, and there it is. So that's in the crop function. Nothing else new over there. And then quick question for you guys over here is exporting. Now, up until now, if you had to, and if you've paid attention to some of the last webinars, you would have to, for example, if you're going to print something, which we spoke about in the previous webinar half an hour ago, or if you wanted to post something onto Instagram, you would often have to export once, come back, change, because your settings are different. The DPI is different, the sizing is different, and so on and so forth, right? Now you can do batch exporting. So you can now take that one image and export it as different things. Watch this. This is a pretty cool new one, which they've brought in. So how you would go about that is, let's say, for example, we want to export this guy. Now, it is a little bit deeper, and I am just simplifying this a little bit, but you can go play with this, is once you've done everything and you're ready for this image to go, right? Right click and export. You would still go to your export dialog as per usual. Okay. And then what you have, you can create export presets here. But they, for example, have full size JPEG and one for email. So I can go select the full size and for email, right? Okay, why are you not looking at this? Is wrong. That must be hard drive there. So I want that and I want that. So I want both of these, right? So I can hold and select multiples. I want to do one for email and one as a DNG. Okay, I then also want to do one as a full size. And then you've now got selected presets here, and it's going to give you batch export at the bottom. This changes. So if I click over here, it shows you this, where you want to send your email version, where do you want to send your export version, right? So what you can do is you can go and set up one for Instagram, for example, and I've done one on social media. Go and check the file sizes. Create an export preset for Instagram, for Facebook, for TikTok, for LinkedIn, right? And then you do one for high res. You can do a JPEG high res, a TIFF high res. And then when it's time to export, instead of going export, come back, you simply select all your presets and you do a batch and you select, okay, I'm going to do this in desktop / emails, in images for email and export as DNG. You hit there and it exports the one image to 2 places. This is golden. It really, really is amazing. I'm going to show you again. Right click, export, go to export. It comes up here. You would select. So if you've created your own ones, and you can do this down here, if we have time later, I can show you quickly how. You can select for this instance as a DNG and for email, right? I can set up others as well. Go through, this is blanked out, batch export, and then off it goes. Really handy to be able to export one image for multiple uses. Okay, any questions on those so far, guys? Pretty simple going, right? Pretty simple going, but the idea that they're making it more batch friendly, that you can start doing things that you used to do inside of Photoshop, like the selective color changes, you can now do inside of Lightroom. Instead of going export, come back, export, or having to go into Photoshop and to run a script to change those things, you can do it inside of Lightroom. Okay, just quickly going with a question here. How do you choose which point of a picture is the main point, especially if the image has more than one aspect to be the main point? Okay, so that goes back a little bit to the creativity. It's visual mass, right? Basically, that I see it is you close your eyes, and as you open, what is the first thing that draws your attention? That is the place that you want to kind of bring up and focus on. If it's not what you were intending to show me, then you might have to have a look at that. But visual mass, big deal, big deal. Okay, guys, those are mainly some of the adjustments and the new changes inside Lightroom. It is not spectacularly amazing, but some nice stuff. For me personally, the hue, the batch export is really phenomenal. Those two are great. And I mean, the slight user interfaces and the speed of it is also quite handy. Any questions? What I was going to do is, if there's no other particular questions, I'm going to go back and just show you how to do those presets for export. For example, for Instagram and then for print, and then how you can run the batch. I'm going to go there. The chat function is open, and we can then go and have a look from there. So in order to change, let me just get my chat function back so I can keep track of you guys. Right, in order to change and do the export settings, you're going to go to export, right? And then in order to do this batch export, you're going to want a user preset. So I'm going to say add. Let's call this Instagram and create. Now, this one here would have been based on what I did here. So I know my last one was 2560 at 72. So that would be my Instagram version. Okay, now I'm going to add another one, but I'm going to change this because now I want to have a print at 300 DPI. Okay, and I'm going to say add this as print, create, and then save that. I now want to do another one. Let's say Facebook, for example, Facebook, right? But first I've got to change something. So let's say, for example, this will be 72. And this is up to you. If you know you run a blog or a business or whatever, set these up. It's going to make your life a lot easier, right? Resize, add, and I'm going to say Facebook, done. So now these are here. I can cancel. So I'm going to go to a different image and I say, ooh, I want to use this image, export. And now I'm going to say that one, and that one, all in once, one image, batch export. And I simply now go and give each one a name, right? And I give them a directory and I hit export. And it takes one image into 3 different versions. That is golden. This is almost better for me than the tone curve and the hue. It's handy, especially if you do print and if you do online work. It is really, really quite something. Okay, coming back to you over here. I'm going to quickly pop into, what was this one here? I would do both, actually. I would do both. Right. Guys, it's simple. There it is. Those are some of the main adjustments. Like I said, there are some speed improvements. There's some cosmetics here and there. But the main ones, for me, hue slider in the special adjustments, the crop function, the overlay, where it shows you where the exact middle of your frame is, and then the batch export. Those are huge. So I think it's great. If you have any questions, guys, you know where to get hold of me. Give me a shout, and I will then be putting out 1 or 2 new webinars in the next week, over the next couple of weeks. We've got some more detailed, advanced editing coming in. So keep an eye on that. If you haven't signed up for Thursday evening this week, Mike is running a webinar on how to create deep, dark, moody images, not the high key stuff, kind of the dark, heavy stuff, which is moody, good thing. And then next week, I'm going to be hosting a panel discussion on the Masai Mara with Jonathan Scott from the Big Cat Diaries and Adam Bannister, who runs the Greatest Masai Mara competition, and with Jono, one of my partners at Wild Eye, specifically talking about conservation in the Mara Triangle. There's a lot happening there. But please keep an eye on Instagram and our social media and the blog, where you'll get a hold of all of these new ones. And yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, one more question popped up. Fiona, have you any trips for Svalbard scheduled? Ooh, not this year, unfortunately. My trip this year was canceled. I'm hosting 2 Svalbard trips next year. One's in May, one's in July. Both amazing times. I've been there for both. The one is fully booked. I think there's about 5-6 spaces left on one of them. But Fiona, drop me an email if I can help with that. It is phenomenal. My favorite place in the world, without a doubt. Right, guys, if you have any other questions on the back of this, please drop me an email. You have my email. You will get a reminder email from the back of this webinar as well. Exactly. Besides that, but that's it. Easy going. Happy photography, happy processing, very easy going. Let me know the questions. Wherever in the world you are, good morning, good evening, and good night. My name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye. I will see you guys online. Have a good one. Bye-bye.